Hello, let's just get right into it. I'm going to play Scriddle, a puzzle where we don't know the rules. We're on Scriddle number 24. We are getting to the end. I think we've got 1 week left of Scriddles before the end of I think it's the beta period, so I'm not sure what will happen after it's over, if it's going to be released in some way, but we'll find out. Once again, we have a grid. Looks like we can click to select and shade in squares of that grid. And every Scriddle puzzle, we have a button to guess. We'll put together a guess. We'll press the button, and then it'll give us some feedback. We'll only find out rules when we break them. We don't know how many rules there are going to be. We would like to do it in as few guesses as possible. I would like to do it as quick as possible. I think I'm a bit more interested in the low number of guesses, but we'll try and do both. I mean, I'm gonna stop to talk to you about it as well. So there's that. What can we say here? We've got some numbers. We have a 6x6 grid. The numbers are considerably larger than the size of the grid. So they probably don't, of course, say anything about the row or the column. They might say something about this. We've had one or two where they've talked about the size of contiguous blocks adjacent to those pieces. It's maybe also worth noting that several of these are primes, so it's probably not describing like the size of a rectangle or something like that. Although it's definitely not describing the size of a rectangle. There's no way to make an 11 square rectangle. But it might be describing the size of an area of shaded blocks. 11 is quite high, like that's 5, 10, 5, 9, 10, 11. So that would be 11 shaded cells in volume. I don't think there's enough cells here for us to be able to shade them in total. Well, let's just find that out. Let's shade 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If we shade a 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. If we shade a 3, 1, 2, 3. If we shade a 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, no, that is interesting. That is interesting. The numbers do describe exactly the amount of space that we have to shade or unshade. But how would that... I mean, clearly we're not going to just shade in every single cell, so it can't be like a count of shaded cells, right? I mean, we could submit that, but I don't think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be the answer is just like shade every cell, right? So if it's not telling us the number of cells to shade, what else could it be telling us? I think that would be a really big coincidence if it were otherwise. Shall we double check that just to make sure we don't go on a wild good chase? So I'm going to shade 11 first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And I'm going to shade 2. 1, 2. And I'm going to shade 3. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to shade 3. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to shade 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now I'm going to shade 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. So the other thing that immediately comes to mind is maybe every number wants to be adjacent to some volume of shade, a shape of that is shaded or unshaded and equal to that size. However, the reason I'm a bit skeptical on that one is the number cells are clearly unshaded cells and they cannot be shaded, right? They would be if they were visually distinguished from the other cells, then I might then I would maybe say, oh, perhaps we're supposed to shade in an area of 11, shade or unshade an area of 11 and keep it separated from an area of 2, an area of 3, an area of 3, an area of 4, an area of 7 that are all adjacent to each one of those things. I'm not sure that we can do that graph coloring wise, but supposing that we could, if these were visually distinct, if these were not themselves white shaded cells, then that would be great, because then we would have partitioned the entire space into black and white cells, the entire unnumbered space into black and white cells, and it would add up exactly to the total number here. However, it does seem pretty clear that we should consider the number cells themselves to be unshaded, right? They look the same as unshaded cells. So in fact, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more than the total number of values here if we're also considering unshaded cells. That said, I mean, maybe one thing we could do is have... We can't partition white spaces into areas of those sizes, because we can't fully partition anything with just 6. Like if we're only putting in 6 cells, like, well, we can make one partition, right? We can, like, I guess you can kind of make more partitions than that, but like they're all tiny. It's like got like one big white partition and a few small ones there. But maybe it's not partitioning. Maybe it's some other dimension property. Maybe it's something that can be... What kind of guess might we make that would give us information that could confirm or deny that this is something to do with areas of the grid? Don't really know. Maybe if we... It's also just like really hard to... Other things I'm thinking is like we can't put the 3s into the same volume as each other. Like, I think there's been puzzles before where you want to have like a contiguous unshaded area that has, and its area must equal the number inside it. It could have 2 numbers inside it that are both the same, but these can't reach each other if we're talking about areas. We also can't, like, one of the early puzzles had something like, it's the sum of all of the... Actually, no, there's a recent one where it's the sum of all the areas adjacent to a shape. So, like... I mean, we could try that again. But we need... I think we can prove that can't be the case. Because this 11 needs a lot of volume if we're doing it by volume. And it's just not possible for it to shade volumes coming out the 11 that don't touch other things. And as soon as it touches something else, then that's given this a volume that's too big. So I don't think it's that. I don't think we're repeating that again. And I don't think we would repeat like exactly the core trick of a previous puzzle. What could this cell have 11 of? If we do like that. Yeah, there's no way to keep these separate from each other. What if we do something like this? Is this going to tell us anything? I put an area 11 shape next to the 11, and an area 2 shape next to the 2, an area 3 shape next to the 3. The area 4 shape is not next to the 4, and the 7 doesn't have anything even attempting to... So yeah, I don't think it's this, but I mean, a guess is a guess. Actually, maybe we'll do that to have a slightly more... like a single isolated shaded cell and a single isolated white cell. Oh, we don't have any white cells that have nothing. Yeah, so let's do that instead. Then we've got an area partitioned here that has no numbers in it. Maybe that'll tell us something. Let's see what we find out. Two rules. The red rule. Interesting. So the red rule, given that it fails on the 11, which is in a very, and it well, we can't really tell. It might be shading in numbers. It might be shading in regions that have regions that have numbers in them. Could it be? So what we're saying there is it fails for the big number and it's okay for the other numbers. So maybe it's something that is like the bigger the number, the more it's asking for. It has to satisfy it, and so like all the other numbers are in have things adjacent to them. What things adjacent to them could it be? So what could be satisfying the 7? Because like you could say like, oh, this 2 it's got a size 2 black shaded cell next to it. It's in a white area of at least size 2. Could be things like that. It could be, yeah. And I'm ignoring things like total number of things in its row and column and total number of changes in its row and column, because that we know that we're never gonna satisfy that for 11. Could it be like the surface area? Because so what we're saying is like these numbers are all of comparable size to the features around them, but the 7 isn't. The 7's quite a big number as well, and it's not been shaded by the red rule. So what might it be looking for? Maybe could it be like the perimeter of the room that it's in? But then, I guess that's an interesting question. If we don't shade anything, would be past the red rule. And what's the orange rule saying? So the orange rule, I think the 4 seems to be the only thing that is happy here. The orange rule seems to be related to numbers. This 4 is somehow happy. Is it happy because we've got a line of 4 white things in a row here? And the other ones do not? It's interesting as well, like, well, okay, I see it, shit. Oh, have we even seen this before? I don't know if we've seen this before. The numbers are shaded independently from the cell backgrounds, because this 4 has been highlighted as the cell fails the orange rule, but the 4 itself, the number hasn't been highlighted. These 3s have been highlighted. The 2, the 11, and the 7 have been highlighted. And interestingly, like this cell here and these white cells have not been highlighted. Is that because they're not in a line with any numbers? I mean, it does feel a bit like this is saying like, oh, I want to be in a line with four white cells, but like, how are we ever going to meet the requirements for the 11 then? This is 2 saying like there's too many white cells in a row here? Seems just, what is there anything else this 4 could be responding to here? I mean, maybe we try that. Maybe like let's. I don't know what would make the 7 happy. Oh. I'm still thinking, I think it is lines. I think it is white lines because this 11 could have a white line. How is it counting it? Is it a line? Is it a straight line through it? Is it allowed to turn? It must be. Okay. Something like this. So my vague reasoning here. Oh no, but maybe is it so? I've got a line. This two is in a line of two. This three is in a line of three. It was in two lines of three. Actually, maybe I don't want that one. This four is in a line of four. This three is in a line of three. And the 11 and 7 are on corners, and they make an L shape through the corner. Maybe like that. What do we? Let's guess this and see what we get. Found a new rule. Huh. So what did we meet? We met we didn't satisfy the orange rule. Despite the orange rule being the thing that we were trying to satisfy, we didn't satisfy it, but we inadvertently passed the red rule, and we broke this new yellow rule. Huh. Am I just not able to count? Oh, that's 6. Oh, right. Okay, that's. I just can't count. I just can't count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I think that should satisfy the orange rule. But what was this other? What was this? What was this? This yellow rule. Why does it dislike these two blobs here when it was completely satisfied before? Can we do this differently as well? I mean, we're not actually. Let's. I feel it's a bit of a waste of a guess because I feel like this is going to give us the same feedback. My guess is this will still fail the yellow rule on these pieces, and we'll pass the orange rule. And I think the orange rule is this, just like. I guess there's more than one way that it could work, but no. Let's find out whether this passes or not. Whether it passes the orange rule before we do anything. It does pass the orange rule. Oh, we made more of it. Maybe saying that every shaded area has to be connected to the edge of the puzzle somehow. That would what was our first one? Yeah, it could be. Has to be like has to form orthogonal connections through to the edge of the grid, perhaps. So is there? Do we have any degrees of freedom here? I don't know. I don't know what happens if for example, we unshade this one, or we take unshade that one. I don't know whether this will satisfy the 4 or not anymore, because I don't really know what this is. I don't know what this is doing when a space doesn't have, when it's got 3 or more white spaces next to it. When it's just like got 1 next to it, it's just like, okay, we just seem to be making the length of a line. when it's got two white spaces next to it, it's like, okay, yeah, form an angled, like a right angle line through it or a line through it and measure the size of that. But for here, I don't know what that's going to do. I'm hoping it will ignore that. So anyway, so we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh no, that's still not going to work. Because we would need to put that there and that messes up everything else. We kind of want to make this guess, make some kind of guess like this, just to find out that information, just to find out how the details of how the orange rule works. Is there anything else? So we know that these all have to be we're fairly sure if we understand the orange rule right, that all of these have to be unshaded. If all of those are unshaded, I think this has to. Maybe we do need to do more experiments. I guess it doesn't place any constraints on any of these others, does it? Or it places constraints around the two. We need to have. So this 4. Maybe we can. Like the 4 can't. Or can it? Can we make like a T shape? I'll worry about this in a second. Will this satisfy the 4? 1, 2, 3. What if they're minimums or maximums rather than like exact values? I think I want to do this more open and one. This is clearly not going to pass. I want to know if this 7 is satisfied. I want to know if this 4 is satisfied here. Yes, just make the guess. I can't hear the. Did you hear the guesses? I didn't hear the guesses. I don't know if I broke my sound. Oh well, as long as you can hear me, that's the important thing. What did we have here? Okay, so we can see now that we've got more open space, we can see. Okay, so I think it is adding up all of the. Right, that's what it's measuring. It's starting from this unshaded cell, because the number of cells are unshaded. It's adding up the area of that cell plus all the cells that can be seen in the 4 cardinal directions that are unshaded, right? Until we hit a shaded cell. So with that in mind, we know that this 2 must have all 3 of these shaded, because these all have to be unshaded to get the 11 to work. So all 3 of those must be shaded, right? We can put in these, right? So this 3 currently has a value of 2. One of these 3 can be unshaded. This 4 currently has a value of 2. Oh, we can put these on these as well. We might as well. Obviously they're going to be unshaded. Okay. What else are we forced to do here? So this 7. If all of these are unshaded, then exactly those are unshaded, and this is shaded. Oh wait, no, no, exactly that is, and we don't know about that. If that were the case, we would do something like this. This 4 would have 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that would be okay. This 3. Oh, this 3 is. Oh no, we can. No, that works, right? So we think we need to connect this black shaded area to the outside. So let's see now. This 2 is fine. The 11 is fine. This 3 is fine. This 4 has this cell, this cell, this cell, and this cell. So that's an area of 4. The 7 sees all of this row, which is 6, plus this one is 7. This 3 sees, okay. This 3 sees 3. So I think that might be our answer. What do we think other rules were before we commit to that? The red rule. I think the red rule is the white space must all be contiguous. And I think the yellow rule is the black space must all be contiguous or connected to the outs. I did say I thought it had to be connected to the outside. I'm curious why, if it's purely a rule about being contiguous, why would it highlight these 2 and not these 2? I feel like it should highlight either at least 3, either exactly one of them or exactly all but one. But anyway, I think this meets all those requirements. So let's see. Nice. Phew. Yeah. Let's go and see. Let's see what the rules were. Shade some cells in the board to form a cave. All shaded cells are connected through other shaded cells to the outside of the grid. We were right in that. So, okay, so they could be discontinuous with each other, but they have to all touch the outsides of the grid in some way. Numbers cannot be shaded. Clues represent the total number of unshaded cells that can be seen in a straight line vertically or horizontally, including itself. Yes, we got that one. And all unshaded boards in the cell form an orthogonally connected area. We got that too. Okay, great stuff. The genre first appeared in Puzzle Compendium Nicolay Volume 58 under the name Bag. I see. Okay. Good things. Hopefully I'll be back again tomorrow. I am going to be back to work before we get to the end of the month of these. In theory, that should be fine. I should still be able to do these in the evening. But yeah, I'm not the most organized of people. I'm struggling to get a lot done even during the holidays. But yeah, maybe we'll do some more. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you next time.